Okay. Hopefully, I'm in the camera. I'm in the right angle. Let me double check if it's recording because this thing keeps turning off. Okay, it is. Okay. Welcome again. It's been a long time. I haven't recorded anything. Haven't done a lot. Reason being is because I didn't have the right equipment. But now I have the right equipment. And things have changed. Obviously, the room looks very different from a year ago. I'm gonna start doing these little videos like that. The room tour every year in December. We've lost a couple things, we've gained a couple things, and it's really just it's a big difference, it's a big change, and I've lost some really expensive and really cool animals. I had a Galapagos and a white leg that I had, and unfortunately lost them to mycosis. For some reason, centipedes in this room don't do very well, but we'll get to that later because centipedes are my thing. I really love centipedes, and they're the thing that I really want to get into, so I kind of have figured out a way to like bypass the mycosis and stuff like that. But we'll get to that later when we get to the centipedes. But like I said, today we're going to be doing a room tour. It's a little messy, not too messy. It's a little messy. But yeah, let's get started. So here is the centipede rack, or at least the bottom half is. Well, never mind. It's just the centipede and other animal rack. Here's the big guy, the ethmostigmus. He's actually out right now. Can't really see him, but we'll get to him later. We have 3 little guys, a Scolopendromorpha, 2 Longipus, and a Rhysida Longipus. By Longipus, I mean the Alternans / Longipus. A Polymorpha, and like I said, I did have white legs and a Galapagos, but I guess I did something wrong, and they both ended up getting pretty bad mycosis. So let's begin looking at the Polymorpha. So here's the Polymorpha's enclosure. This enclosure is pretty good ventilation and stays pretty dry. Its water bowl is for some reason dug up. Do gotta fix that. I'm gonna just gently. So that's him. He is very pretty. I low-key think this is a Rio Grande Polymorpha. I'm not really sure. I had other Polymorpha before. I've kept Polymorpha before, but this one looks very different, more robust, and its head is very colorful as opposed to the other Polymorphas I've seen. Not really sure. He is handleable, but don't really like to handle my centipedes too much. The only ones I really want to handle are white legs and, you know, the South American giants, because I do want to get those very tamed out. But obviously we don't have any right now. But that's the Polymorpha. His name is Galgo, by the way. I don't know how well the camera's going to capture him because my setup is a little weird. But this is Galgo, like I said. He's pretty chill. I'm not going to go too deep in depth with all the animals because I want to do separate videos on him. But that's Galgo. I've kept him for about a couple months now. I had another Polymorph that I kept for a year, and you know, Galgo's bit me a couple times, but he's pretty chill. Other than that, I've tamed up. He's biting me right now. I've tamed him down a lot, but he's the only centipede that, no matter how much I've tamed him down, he still has that little sass to him. But I'll get to the other centipedes because the other centipedes are very different. They're very, very different compared to Galgo. He's probably gonna bite me again. My hand's already hurting. Their venom is very mild, but like I said, we're not gonna get too deep into them. But that's Galgo. Up next is my little tiny Longipus, or Alternans. This species is very similar to the Polymorpha species in the sense of they're always changing. Their range is so off, and by that I mean that their colors are very different in depending on the range. This species has been misclassified, classified all over again. It's well, the camera's not focusing. It's a very hard species to like completely give its, you know, brand and name to. I don't know how well this didn't capture it, but like I was saying, this species is very hard to identify in a sense of there's always been a change to their name. They go by alternans, Scolopendra alternans or Scolopendra longipus. They did reclassify it as Scolopendra longipus since there are some minor differences. They do get pretty big. I would say that their max size in the Longipus at least is 7 to 8 inches, and then the Alternans gets 10 inches to 11 inches. And the two species, if they're even separate species, like I said, they do get very thick. That's their number one giveaway, is that they're a species that's very thick and they love to burrow. If these are two different species, the Alternans and Longipus, their behavior is practically the same. Love to burrow, leafy litter. They love to hide in leafy litter. They like dry areas, dry spots, dry pockets in wet areas. So very humid places like Puerto Rico, Key West, Cuba, all those places that have humidity, high humidity, and then dry areas. That's their range. So like I said, their range is very weird. They go all the way from Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, to Cuba, and then the Longipus, quote unquote Longipus, ranges all the way to Florida. I found these guys all the way up in Coral Gables, so they have a big range. And a lot of people don't know these guys live in Florida, which is weird. But anyways, just put a picture of my old Longipus, Russell. He was huge, and I got him off Underground Reptiles, and he wasn't even full grown yet, and he was pretty big already. So I just put a picture right about now. And now I'm going to show you the other guys. So up next is the Rhyceta longipus, a species that is invasive in almost everywhere that it's found, except I think it's the Philippines they're native to, or Asia. Anyways, very pretty species, very small. Oh, he's hiding right there. Let's see if I can just gently scooch him out. There he is. Very weird species. I would say that this species, focus. This species is very fossorial. They don't like being out whatsoever, and I've only seen them out a couple times. They're very pretty. I would say that this guy is almost full grown. This is the only enclosure I'm gonna kind of dig him up a little bit, just because this enclosure is very shallow. Wow, this it's gonna be a problem to get him out. I'll just insert another picture because these guys, their bite is not the best. It's not. Venom is pretty mild, but it still hurts. So, well, that's him. Sorry that some of these shots are going to be very bad because, like I said, some of them are just buried up in their burrows or something. Most of them I should be able to get them out, but the ones that are really deep in there, and I don't want to stress them out too much, so those will get a photo or a video of when they were out or something like that. But up next is the tiniest thing in this room, or second tiniest thing in this room, is a centipede that I still have yet to identify. I'm pretty sure it's a Scolopendromorpha, but I think that's just it's a genus itself, so I'm not sure exactly what species it is. The only reason I got it is because I thought it was a Longipus, a baby Longipus. But it has too many segments. Looks like a mixture between a dirt centipede, a soilpede, and a Longipus. So it was found in that same range where they are found, so where the Longipus is. So I'm gonna show you guys that little thing. It's super tiny though, and I don't know. You guys let me know. So this is the little tiny thing. It literally looks like a dirt centipede, but it's not a dirt centipede or soilpede. I think it's some sort of Scolopendromorpha. I don't know what type of school. When I researched it, it said it's a Scolopendromorpha, but I'm pretty sure it's a genus. I'm not really good with these types of centipedes. He's been doing fine in the enclosure I gave him. I don't know. You guys let me know. Has a lot of very long terminals, lots of segments. To be honest, I'm not really sure what species it is, but it's been doing pretty fine. Just gonna gently poke this little thing so you can see his face a little more. Here we go. Very pretty centipede though, and the smallest centipede I've ever kept. At that. Very weird looking. Very awesome. You can see it has those striations, which are not a. See if you can capture it better with that. Can't zoom in as much as I can. It's hard to see, I know, guys. But the plates, they have these striations on them that the Longipus don't have, so I'm pretty sure this is not a Longipus. Looks very different. But you guys let me know in the comment section what you guys think it might be. It's some sort of Scolopendromorpha. But yeah, we're gonna go move on to the next one, because this one's taking a little longer than I thought, because of how tiny it is and how fragile gentle I need to be on this fragile little thing. And with that, we finally made it to the star of the room, I would say. Well, I have other good things, but everybody's good. But this is the thing everybody's mostly interested in the room, is the Ethmostigmus vertebrae platycephalus, or the Solomon Island giant green centipede. He has tamed down a lot since we've last recorded him, or we last filmed him, or whatever. But he's still not handleable whatsoever. I've handled him a couple times. Ooh, the bite from the polymorph is burning up a bit. But he's still not handleable, like I said. So we're gonna be as gentle as we can, because he does lash out a bit, but it's nothing like the polymorph. You'll see. Enclosure is very well made to recreate that of a humid, dry place. Very similar to Puerto Rico, I would say. These guys are thought to be a little bit arboreal, so I tried putting a little, here and there and stuff like that. It's nothing too much. But yeah, let's check him out. He's probably gonna be under these things right here. There he is. He is 7-8 inches of deliciousness, and he's not the nicest guy. He's tamed out a lot. He used to bite everything. He is battling some mycosis. I've tamed it down a lot. A lot. There he is again. He is the size of him compared to my hand. I don't want to get too close and get a nippy nip. But you can see some of the mycosis I was mentioning is right there. It's gone away a lot, or not gone away, but it's controlled itself. But it's still pretty nasty. He has a properly ventilated enclosure, 2 rows all around. The only thing that doesn't have holes is this thing, just to keep that humidity, because this species really likes humidity. This is the only species of centipede I would say. This is the only species of centipede I would say is like one of the most, I don't want to say scary, but they do look intimidating, more intimidating than other species, I would say. I wouldn't be as intimidated if it was a white legs or Galapagos or something like that. He also, he also is full of dirt, so he does not cover in mycosis. He only has mycosis in certain spots. This species for some reason intimidates me more than anything else, any other centipede species. I don't know, nobody knows this, but centipedes used to be my only fear. I'm trying to get them out, but whatever, I'll just record them. Centipedes used to be my only fear, but it's tamed out a lot because they're the animals I really want to work with. Like I said, I don't handle this guy. I use thongs for it because I don't really know how bad their venom is. I've gotten stung by Rhysida longipes, by alternans, not alternans, the longipus alternans, and I've gotten stung by galaps, but I really don't know what damage these guys would do. He is a little tame. See, I'm touching him, but obviously terminals don't touch terminals. But he is still the one centipede that I'm like, probably shouldn't handle it. He's trying to go behind my thing. I'll just get him out. This is the same thing that happened last time too. He got out and then he just started wandering the room. So I'm gonna handle him real quick. There we go. So the same thing happened last time. He kind of got out and I didn't want to handle him. He's tamed out a lot. In the last video, he was jumping all around. He was biting everything that he touched. He hasn't molted yet, which has been very bothersome to me because I've been wanting him to molt so he can finally get rid of that mycosis. You can kind of tell that he wants to molt, but he's always been this fat. I always try to feed him as much as I can. But yeah, he's doing pretty good. I'm not gonna go too in depth in them, like I said, because this video is gonna be super long. But let's go into the next animal, which is probably gonna be my tarantulas. So let's go. So I do have 2 salmon pink bird eaters. I'm only gonna show one because the other one's basically the same thing. They were literally twins. They're very pretty, very agile, very, I don't want to say aggressive, but they're very cool. They started, you guys wouldn't believe how small they started. If I could show you like the molt of how big they were. So there's the molt. Focus a little bit. That little speck right there is their molt. That was smaller than my fingernail, smaller than half of my fingernail, and they have just gotten so big. I've had these guys for a year now, and they're just doing great. I love these guys. I'm a little scared on my space because they require a lot of space, and I already have another bird eater, so I have two more bird eaters, so they're gonna need bins as big as Basil's enclosure right there. Focus. But yeah, they're awesome little tarantulas, man. These are the only tarantulas that I would say they will never fail to eat, ever. Really, really cool. Here we go with that same bird eater. Trying to see if this thing focuses. They're really awesome. They're really chill. They eat like monsters, but they don't really show any signs of aggression. Really, really cool. I love these guys a lot. Up next, I have to be a little quiet because he's very, very sensitive. We have my most random tarantula. There she goes. That is a Cameroon red baboon. A Cameroon baboon. It's an aquatic tarantula. They're awesome. Very, very awesome. As you can see, its enclosure is very off-putting. Oh, focus. It's very off-putting. It's literally just a container that's very long vertically, and water right here, and then a lot of dirt. And it's been doing great. It's been doing great in this enclosure. It's a little messy because no matter how much I clean it up, no matter how much I fix it up, she always finds a way to just dig up more and throw all the dirt all over the place. She is getting a rehouse soon, so probably like this week I'm gonna rehouse her because she is 1 molt away from not fitting in that enclosure. So her name is Araquanid, by the way. Very, very cool spider. Didn't even think they were, that I could find these in this area, but I ended up finding them. Very, very pretty though. The only reason I really got these guys, first of all, because they're an aquatic tarantula. Who wouldn't like an aquatic tarantula? But also because they look very similar to like the bird eaters, the Goliath bird eater, the burgundy one, which are awesome. But yeah, that's Araquanid. So as you can see, this is the next little teeny beanie guy. He hasn't even been here for a week, I would say, and he is tiny. He is down there. I am in love with the Regalis, or just Poecilotheria in general, but these things are just awesome. I've seen a ton of videos of them full grown, and I fell in love with them, and I saw one for a good price, and it was this little thing. But these things are awesome. Haven't changed much of his enclosure since the day I purchased it. I plan on doing a really cool enclosure, a bioactive enclosure with these little guys, or this little guy. But he's still too small for that, so I'm waiting for him to grow a little bit more so that I can be able to do it. Next is up there. Now that is Nebula's enclosure. I don't know if you guys have seen Nebula before, because I don't know if I had him last time I did my my room tour, but this is the next rack. Nebula lives up there, and Nebula has been very weird lately, but we'll see if we can get her out. There she is. That's Nebula, my Caravana versicolor, or my Antilles pinktoe. She's been really off lately, like I said. She doesn't seem to be in pre-molt, but she's just a stunning tarantula. I would say this is probably my second. No, this is probably my first. This is my most stunning tarantula. Second place is, you'll see who second place, what second place is, but she's just stunning in colors, and the light doesn't really show it, but actually I'll try to gently coax her, make the place for more light, but it's pretty awesome. She is a female from what I could tell, and that makes me very happy because the females tend to get bigger, and I really like big tarantulas, so She's just gorgeous, just stunning, stunning, stunning. Can't wait for her to molt again. She's not so big right now. This is not a species that gets really big, but they do get sizable. They get about half of the size of my hand, maybe like 6 inches across in leg span, around there. But this is just an awesome little tarantula, great beginner tarantula, I would say. A lot of people don't like these as beginner tarantulas because of their humidity requirements, but it's literally as simple as just misting the enclosure every like 2 or 3 days. But just a beautiful tarantula, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very, very personable too. This tarantula is very, very personable, and I love that about her. She's always been a chill tarantula, and she's actually been the only tarantula that's bit me, only because I had a feeder in my hand, and I guess she thought it was food. Oh, this is very, very, very bad quality. But anyways, for the final tarantula, I kind of have to change my pants. I was getting annoyed by the jeans. Final tarantula is, I would say, the coolest tarantula in the room. She also, I would say, is the most dangerous. Not in venom potency, because obviously the baboon is the most venomous technically. But I would say she's the scariest to people and whatnot. And it's awesome. She's awesome. She's still I won't say a juvenile because they get huge. It is a bird eater, and you probably guys already know what it is. Let me move my camera. There she is. She's just gorgeous. So this is BMO, my Goliath bird eater. Now I'm talking a little low just because she's very sensitive, but I've had a hard time really identifying which Goliath bird eater this is, because there's two main ones. There's the burgundy and there's the other one. I forgot the name of it already, but the reason I've had a hard time is because their main distinction is hair types. Their hair types, or the amount of hairs they have, and this one has lost a lot of hair because the shop I got her from didn't really take care real well. It was very dry, and she was losing a lot of hair because of it, and just its care wasn't really good in general. But just look at that tarantula. That is one mean and awesome tarantula, and she is a juvenile still. That's my hand compared to her. She's pretty small compared to how big she can really get. These guys can get up to 12 inches in leg span, and they weigh, as I think it's a pound, if I'm not mistaken, or half a pound. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but they get heavy. They're the heaviest spider, because they're not a true spider. But just an awesome, awesome little guy, man. I'm very happy to have him. He's beautiful, and I've been trying to get him back to full health. It's been a little hard because she didn't really eat in the beginning, but that's normal. And then she finally started eating, and she eats like a beast. I'm gonna make a separate video on the care and stuff for this guy, because this guy deserves it. He's been through a lot, and I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. So that's BMO, and I really hope she's a female, because if she is a female, she will be getting huge. And I mean, probably to the point that I might have to get a new enclosure for it, even though this thing's already it's a tub. So yeah, that's BMO. Love BMO. Lastly, we're gonna be getting into my scorpions and Europidgey, or Europidgey, I forgot the name, I don't know how to say it. Europidgey, Europidgey. Well, not lastly, because I still have the millipedes, but second to last. Scorpions, or whatever. Yeah. This is the Asian Forest Communal 1, because there's two of them. And this is the main one, I would say, and the one that's been doing the best. There are two Asian Forest scorpions in here. Obviously a male and a female. The progress in this enclosure, I'm not sure if I showed it last time, but last time it looked very weird, and I decided to redo it entirely and plant it and make it bioactive, so I can just leave it alone and let them be. And it's overgrown. Just a water bowl, some moss growing, stays very humid. It has ideal burrowing areas. They do burrow, but they tend to not burrow as much. They like to hide underneath the woods I gave them. I'm gonna try to find up. That's one of their feeders. Two of them at least. Oh, there's one right here. Come here. This is the male, if I'm not mistaken. And they're just awesome. I love Asian forest scorpions. They did give me babies, and that's the other communal that I was showing. But let me show you guys another. Place them down for a bit. Asian forest scorpions, in my opinion, are awesome little animals. They're really easy to take care of. They're beautiful. If you take care of them right, and you have another one nearby, you can breed them, and you can have even more. And if you're a scorpion enthusiast, these guys are awesome. I did have an emperor before. Unfortunately, another animal that's for some reason have passed away. Not sure if it's I'm not sure of this room. This room has lost a nice amount of animals. I'm not the only one that lives in this house, so I'm not sure if they've been spraying something around, but I've been keeping my toes checked in those instances to make sure that nobody's spraying things around this house. They shouldn't be spraying because they know that I have animals, so. But very chill scorpion. I obviously have gotten stung. Stress thing right now. Easiest way to handle these guys is to just pick up their telson gently and just place them on your hand like that. It's literally as easy as it is. Don't grab these guys. Don't handle them too often. See, he almost stung me right there. Beep, 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 beep. I'm only doing this to show you guys. They're awesome to keep, easy to keep, and they're very rewarding if you know how to keep them right. People sometimes just keep them in like bark, like pieces of bark and stuff like that, and they leave it dry, or they just keep it in cocoa husk and they leave it dry, and that is incorrect. You got to keep these guys in something that they can burrow in, something that's moist, something that's humid, something that holds humidity, and enough burrowing space. So here we have the baby's enclosure. Now from the top it looks like there's just dirt and a couple of pieces of wood here, but there's actually, oh, there's one right there. 11 little guys. There used to be 12, but one of them didn't molt right, so. And they're just spread out all over the place, but they mostly hang out together. It should be underneath this one, and yep, they love to hang out together. It's their thing. They even molt together, and I've seen them do it. I've seen them literally molt all bundled up, and they don't bother each other at all. I feed them, and what I do to feed them is I just throw in a roach or a worm, and I tear it up to pieces, and they just find it, and then they eat it. They are awesome, and I can't wait to have a little communal with these guys. I might actually just add these guys when they're fully grown up into the other tank. Separate video on those guys, but they are awesome. Very, very cool. Okay, so next we're going to be talking about my Mastigoproctus giganteus, or my giant vinegaroon. He is kept in this enclosure. He's pretty chill. He's very cool. He's probably the most personal animal I got. Oh, he's actually eating right here. Let me see. There he is eating. Now, this guy is awesome. I've always been interested in the Euro Pidgey, and I've had Ambly Pidgey before, but these guys are just so cool. I still really love the Ambly Pidgey, or Ambly Pidgey, however you want to say it, but there's just something about these guys. It's just so much interesting, so much more interesting. What I do like about the Ambly Pidgey, though, is that there's so many variants to them. There's so many variants to the Ambly Pidgey, so there's literally, they look all different colors, all different shapes and sizes, which is awesome, but they're more seclusive, or they want to hide more. I don't know how to say it. As for these guys, at least this specimen right here, he likes to explore. He's always out no matter what, and I always see him sticking his little hands through his little holes and just feeling around, and it's just so cool seeing him around. He's a great pet. I would handle him and stuff like that, but he's eating. He's pretty tiny, but yeah, his name is Lenny. Last but not least, because we still have one more thing, my millipedes. This here is Shelby, my African giant millipede. There's a bit of an ant problem right now, so you might see some ants wandering around. Had her for a couple months now. She has been awesome. She's very shy, doesn't like movements, doesn't like being picked up. As you can see, she always curls up, and every time you pick her up, she poops a bit. But this thing is beautiful. I've always liked these guys. Never see them around, and then I saw one at the shop, and I was like, I gotta get it. She's kept in a really nice size enclosure, not the biggest. I plan on getting her something bigger soon. Got her some crushed eggshells right here, and you know, pretty simple care. I'm gonna do videos separately on these guys because she's just amazing. But that's Shelby. Very, very cool. They do get a lot bigger. She's still pretty small, so awesome. Lastly, I know I'm rushing a bit only because I need to charge this camera and I have a lot of editing to do and stuff like that, is my colony of shrub millipedes. These guys are cool. Very sizable. They come in very different, I would say, tones of color. Trying to see if you can focus that. There we go. This one's like a little teal-ish color, and then this one right here looks like a giant bumblebee millipede. So as you can see, they come in very different colors. There's a ton of them in here, even tiny ones. I'm hoping that they start breeding. But yeah, I have a colony of these guys. They're super easy to care for, and I can't believe I found these guys. So these guys are awesome. I really like them. They eat just about, you know, whatever Shelby eats, because they're detrivores. They eat whatever isopods eat, so. But trust me, there's a lot of them. It's just I don't feel like digging up their entire enclosure to find them. But anyways, I think that's it, because I'm not showing any more reptiles in this video. Very, very awesome, very cool. Go zoom in on that. Very, very pretty millipede. So that's enough. That's all for the invert room. I'm not gonna do any of my reptiles because that would be probably something different. I mean, I don't think I'm even gonna do a video on them. I had to do this video on 2 separate occasions because I had to get caught up with work and had to do a couple other things. So that's why I look so blech right now. But yeah, I'll be dropping more videos on cares and stuff like that on these animals. I want this to be something I can grow from. I love talking about animals, so animals are my thing. I love centipedes, I love tarantulas, I love scorpions and all that stuff. So this is something I really enjoy doing. So if it's something you guys are interested in, like learning the cares and behaviors and stuff like that, I will be dropping more videos. Regardless, I'm gonna be dropping videos because I want something to look at in the future when I'm like, you know, have kids and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, Dad, what are we doing? Well, I was doing this. But sorry I look like a mess right now. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and just, you know, be on the lookout for more videos that I'll be dropping probably this week. And thank you guys for everything, you know. I don't have a group of people to say this to yet, but thank you guys for, you know, if there's people that watch this video later on. But you know, you guys have a good one, okay? Whee!